again, are you ready? Let's do a little bit of all fours. We'll do spinal flexion and extension. We'll get started in a seated position, and I'm going to choose to do Padangusthasana, which is just seated with your legs out in front of you. So put a blanket underneath you if you need that so that you can sit upright. You want that spine straight. So have my blanket, just fold it in half or quarters. Give me a little bit of lift, right? Help me extend fully through the back of the legs. Relax your feet. Make sure your knees and your toes are directed up towards the ceiling, right? And find a drishti or focal point out in front of you and let your eyes settle on it. We're just going to take 5 breaths together, right? In and out through the nose. So sitting tall, relax the shoulders backing down. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. And let's take a nice deep inhale in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now try to continue to breathe slowly and smoothly through your nose. I'm just going to roll the shoulders a little bit. Right, maybe let the head sway. So keeping that chest open and that spine as straight as you can. Perfect. Let's add a little bit of arm movement. Sweep the arms up in the inhale. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, release. Perfect. One more time. Big inhale. Lift it. Ribs up, ribs up. And exhale, release. Let's take an arm up and over. Keep your sits bones on the floor. Let your legs remain extended out in front of you. Big breath into your side. Just going to do a little cartwheel up and over to the other side. Right? Shoulders away from ears. Trying to use that core strength to keep yourself supported instead of so much the arm. Right? Inhale, lift it up. I'm going to take those arms back behind. Let's open the chest a little bit. Stretch the front heads of the shoulders. Lift the ribs. When I say lift your ribs, rib cage. Lift it up. Right? Good, nice little arch in the back. Perfect. Arms up. Exhale, let it go. Before we move to all fours, let's do that movement for the wrists, elbows, shoulders, in hands, arms out in front, drop a thumb, take one wrist to the other, exhale, bring it into the belly button, inhale, reach it up, and exhale, round, reach it up, and exhale. Remember, our fingers are interlaced firmly, so thumbs to the floor, interlace your fingers, down, up, elbows in, good, inhale up, and exhale, inhale up, and exhale. Just going to do one more, reach it up, open up that chest, stretch those shoulders, and exhale, perfect. So, going to get to all fours, going to be on hands and knees. I'm going to use this blanket for my knees, just because it's available, you might as well, treat yourself kindly, and then it's easier to treat others that way. Just going to open up one time. There we go. Put the knees on there. Perfect. Okay, so fingers are spread nice and wide. What I'm going to do before we get into a little bit of cat and cow, right? Oh, this is actually cat here, cat and cow. And I know people that say it in different ways, different names to it, and they reverse the breathing and they call them different animal names. Whatever works best for you, it's all that matters. So don't get caught up so much in the terminology and the name of things. Go more by the sensation and what it does for you. So I took my hands, let me change my direction so you can see that better. And then right when my hands are closer to the camera, they look huge. So it's easier to understand. So normal, all right, and then I'm gonna rotate outward rotation, right? Not everyone is gonna be able to spin their fingers all the way back towards them, right? Depends on your shoulders and flexibility there. So what we're gonna do is, right, I'm gonna keep my fingertips on the mat or on the floor and just kind of get this connective tissue stretch. All the way back. Perfect. There we go. Good. Let's kind of wake up the hands a little bit. Release it. I'm going to take those hands a little bit wider. I'm going to kind of drop a shoulder, drop a shoulder. And this is really just for the palm and the wrist and the forearm. That's all. Just a little bit of a couple movements. All right. So let's get into cat-cow, spinal flexion extension. Now we've done it seated, and we're going to do it from all fours, which is more common. You see that a little bit more. So inhale, right, fill the belly, and lift the chin to your level of comfort, and then exhale, pull the navel to the spine, and all that breath. Go inhale, drop it. Exhale, round it. Inhale, tilt the pelvis. Exhale, tuck the pelvis. Perfect. And just rhythmic movement, right? Going at the pace of your own breathing. I'm going to move into a modified plank position. Modified plank. Right? So hands are shoulder width. So I'm stacking my joints, stacking my wrist, elbow, and shoulder joint. Going to take a little step forward with it. I'm going to come forward so that I extend through my hips. Right? I'm just going to open up the hip flexor here and just bend the elbows. Right? Come back, and I'm going to start to stretch back toward the child's pose. Lift up. I'm going to play with lowering down. Right? I'm going to take it back toward the child's pose, helping open up the chest. Stretch to lift the shoulders. One more time, lower. Lift it up. A little bit. All right, so let's go into a full child's pose. Step in a little bit here. Take the hips back towards the heels and extend those arms out in front. So, real quick, things that you can adjust or modify for you, for your body that you brought to the mat today. You can put another blanket underneath here if you need more cushion. You can lay a blanket, fold it just the way it is, or maybe a little bit thicker. You can lay it across your calves to, especially if the knees feel like they're getting pinched, right? Feet. I have my feet extended, my toes going straight back. Not everyone's ankle agrees with that. So you can do this with your toes tucked under. Ooh, in fact, it's nice to do that. You can really feel that up through the belly of the calf. Right? It's good for the arches of the feet. I like to exchange out. Sometimes I do it with my toes tucked under, sometimes I do it with my feet extended, my ankles, right? Just take your ankle joint in different directions on a consistent basis, not always doing the same things the same way, right? Our habits. Go back up. All right, so let's move into cat. After we do cat-cow, we're going to move into cobra and child. Another variation of spinal flexion and extension is just a little bit more dramatic, right? I'm going to move back so I'm not so cut off from the camera. And arms reaching out front. Going to come up. Going to lower the body down all the way. Right? Lift on the inhale and exhale. Take it back. Perfect. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So this is a modification because I'm doing it from my knees. This is where we start. We modify it until we get that strength to go into a plank and then lower all the way down, right? And that takes time. You want to make sure that you start to train your body to move correctly for its bone structure. Like anything else, once you start a bad habit, it's hard to get out of it. So you'll see a lot of being weakness. You'll feel the belly drop, right? And then, well, it just hurts when I see people do that. So modify it, right? You only get one spine, so treat it kindly. There you go. Inhale into cobra and bring it on back. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to change seated position. I'm going to pull my blanket back up. Make it a little bit more cushiony. And I'm going to face you. going to move into cobbler, Baddha Konasana. We've done that one before. Bringing the soles of the feet together to help stretch through the inner line of the legs, sitting up nice and tall. Perfect. Let's do seated cat-cow from here. I just want to do a lot of spinal movement today. Just kind of wake that energy up. Inhale and exhale. Very good. Inhale and exhale. Ooh, I'm falling off the back of the blanket. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. You know, you still do silly stuff. This is the way it is. Awesome. Moving into a seated twist, right? So, on one leg we're going to be getting a nice hamstring stretch and a calf stretch because that leg is extended out nice and long. Going to bend the knee, bring it in nice and close. You bring the foot into the place where you can still keep your pelvis in an upright position. So I'm not rolling off the back of my tailbone. I'm on my sits bones, right? And I'm going to pull this in nice and tight. Just going to wrap arm around and take a little seated twist. Clearing the rib cage, half the rib cage from the thigh, and just sitting up tall. Not muscling my way into it, just gently wrapping the arm. Right? Many different ways. If I needed to, I could have a blanket or a block underneath my hand that's behind me. I just want to avoid putting my shoulders up in my ears because we do this enough in our everyday actions. Try and keep that neck free and relaxed. Keep the shoulders down, right? Removing that sign of stress of those shoulders squeezing up towards your neck. Give yourself a couple breaths in a twist. Takes a moment to get that level of comfort of the breath filling the body when we're in a twisted position. So take your time. Right? I'm going to change my direction. Not wanting to be rude, I'm just going to do the old sit and spin. Right? I don't know, do they still have sit and spins? I don't think so. They're probably termed a dangerous toy. So they probably can't find them anymore. Just like the bouncy ball, one of my favorites, right? So one leg is out nice and long. I am aware that my extended leg, my toes, and my knee are towards the ceiling. They're not leaning over to the side. And I'm not letting the thigh bone just kind of roll out or roll in. I'm trying to keep myself kind of aligned, so to say. So I'm going to inhale to lengthen up, exhale to twist. Not using my arms to do it, using my core strength, because that's what all the muscles of your core are for, to help move your spine. Keep you upright. It's normal to feel more comfortable twisting to one side than the other, because everybody's spine is an original design. So, and then we add our actions or our habits to it. And that starts to create an imbalance in our strength and our flexibility. And that's one of the most awesome things about yoga is that you quickly become aware of the imbalances of your actions, right? And then it kind of becomes broad, like your imbalances in all of your actions, your words, your thoughts, your deeds, your energies. So it's a very awakening of the eyes and the mind and the heart. It's very awakening. There you go. And exhale, just let that go. Perfect. So going back into that seated position with the legs long out in front of you, what did I call it before? Padangusthasana. That's not important. Reach up. 9 times out of 10, I always say the Sanskrit name's wrong. And exhale, having a dialect from the Midwest and sprinkling a little bit of East into it, and having friends from all over the world, you kind of pick up different ways of saying things, and it's okay, right? It's okay. Up and over. Here comes the sweet seated twist. I almost said a Swedish twist. Inhale, reach up. Turn the ribs, exhale, twist. Let's get that one more time in each direction. Lift up and release. One more time, reach it up and release. Here comes a seated back bend. Reach up, open. So, a great thing to do for your spine and for your energy and for your breathing, especially if you're one that is seated all day long. Right? I sit in a very basic elementary kind of office chair that's just a seat and a back. I used to have this a stability ball on rollers. That was my favorite because you could get off and stretch and do things on it, and that was nice. But I just have a regular office chair now. And I took one that is firm and that is uncomfortable, and it's not easy to slouch in because this is so easy to become a habit, just sitting there. And it hurts when I do that for a long time. So let's practice sitting up tall. Gonna take the hands back behind, so fingers towards you, out and away. Once again, what is most comfortable for your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, and your fingers, right? I'm gonna take the fingers away because that's gonna roll, move this action, right? This action of rolling my arms outward. What does that do? Feel it. So let's roll the arms in and let's roll the arms out. Do you feel those bones on your back? Those big bones, those scapulas, your shoulder blades? When you roll out, do you feel them kind of push into the back of your heart, right? So, and that's the action of a back bend, opening your chest by bending into your back, right? It's not a big movement, not big at all. So there we go. Perfect. One more big breath there. So you're taking those ribs up off the hips, create some space in this torso. Awesome. And let it go. Changing my direction just to face you. Gonna go into crisscross applesauce. Right? Ooh, can I get squared in the frame? Nothing in this house is squared. So it's hard for me, right? It's hard. But you know what? Get over it. The only thing that I am in control of are my reactions, and sometimes I'm in control of the world that's inside of me. That's really about it. So, got to get over that small stuff. It's not important. Reach it up, big inhale. Gonna bring those palms together and drop them down towards the heart. I want to thank you so much for sharing some time with me this time around. Until we meet again, namaste. Hi.